If you are superstitious, you'll never step on cracks. When you see a ladder, you will never walk beneath it. And if you ever spill some salt, you'll throw some across your back and carry round a rabbit's foot just in case you need it. You'll pick up any pin that you find lying on the ground and never, never, ever throw your hat upon the bed or open an umbrella when you are in the house. You'll bite your tongue each time you say a thing you shouldn't have said. You'll hold your breath and cross your fingers walking by the graveyard. And number 13's never gonna do you any good. Black cats will all lick vicious if you're superstitious, and I'm not superstitious. Knock on wood. Superstitious by Shel Silverstein.
Podcast.
Welcome to Remnants. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Emily.
And today's topic is superstitions. I think this topic just came about. I was just thinking about, I started making a list of just like superstitions in America, and I was like, where do these come from? I want to know more.
Did you know that I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little titious?
We should definitely do
We should
do a reel with that audio.
Not superstitious, but...
Do you have a favorite superstition?
Favorite one? I don't know.
I don't know if it's a favorite, but it's one I have done since I was a kid, and I've probably made thousands of wishes, but every time I see 11:11 on the clock, I make a wish. And it's been the same wish, my whole life.
I don't think I, follow through with any of the things anymore, but what we did when I was a kid, and I'll sometimes do it now, I guess it's a superstition. Whenever we drove by cemeteries, my grandma said we had to hold our breath.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this giant-ass cemetery by my grandma's house. And I remember every time, it was in pieces. You drive by and then there's one little piece.
Where you could get a breath.
I can't breathe. I don't know, I was like, Grandma wanted me to die. She was like, you just can't breathe or you're gonna get possessed. It's not what my grandma sounded like, but...
Yes.
You're gonna get possessed. I don't even know what it is.
Well, yeah, what accent is that?
I did get possessed by whoever that was. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that one too. I never was very good at holding my breath, so I didn't. I think I talk about that in my list though, what's the meaning behind that one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Not to kill your grandchildren or to finally have some...
Yeah, I think it's basically to not get possessed.
Some quiet, few moments of peace.
Yes.
Finally she doesn't speak. Grandma, we drove by that cemetery a lot.
And well, you're probably good at holding your breath then, if you drove by it a lot. No?
I was holding my breath.
Oh, that's why she wasn't talking. Cannot talk while I'm holding my breath.
It's probably not good for a podcast.
No. I kind of feel like Americans seem really superstitious, but we're probably not any more than other cultures. It just feels, I don't know, it just it's, I don't know how to word it, we seem so we're science-based and modern, and then we don't have a 13th floor in our buildings. That's real dumb.
That is pretty dumb. But at the same time, though, wouldn't you feel a little bit weird? I guess technically, though, there is a 13th floor. We're just not acknowledging it.
It's the 14th floor.
Yeah.
But.
Just that is kind of dumb.
Right? In 2023, we're still not labeling 13th floors in buildings.
There should be somebody that has specifically a hotel that is specifically, their thing is they have a 13th floor, and it's just
Tower of Terror.
The Tower of Terror, yeah.
Yeah, because isn't that they accidentally were on the 13th floor?
I don't know. I was too distracted by dropping to my death.
It's my favorite ride.
Well, it's gone now.
Only at Disneyland. Disney World
That's the one that
still has. No.
Yeah.
Nope. Yeah. Disney World still has it.
Never been there. It doesn't exist.
We're gonna go. Would you like to sponsor listeners?
Sponsor our trip to Disney World to prove Emily wrong. Hang on, I must strap in a microphone. It wasn't wearing its seatbelt.
Oh yeah, we don't want it
Sometimes
to be
jingle jingle. Continue. It's wearing its pants now.
But I don't know. But superstitions, they're kind of fun, and I think it's like a way to make us feel like we're in control, even though like we literally don't have control. But it's like, if you want to repeat if something good happens, or you want to not repeat if something bad happens. So I don't know. I guess it's just human nature to like want to control situations. So I guess that's why superstitions that's why we can't put 13 floors in buildings, because if something bad happens,
Because it's on the 13th floor.
then we'll be like, well, shouldn't have acknowledged it. So like, yeah.
If you just pretend it doesn't exist, then
like-
the ghosts and the diamonds and the bad luck don't know that you're on the 13th floor, because they only see in numbers.
Yeah, they know. They're like, oh, well, the 12th floor, we won't bother them.
Just imagine there's just like a demon walking up the stairs, just 1, 2, 3. God damn it, this one doesn't have a 13 either!
It's gonna have to go to another country.
Somebody's got to put a 13th floor somewhere. I can't haunt any of these hotels in the United States.
Yeah. Well, should we go down the list I made up? I'm sure I missed some, but we're gonna hit the big ones.
Let's go.
First one, knock on wood. That's probably one I use all the time. And this one's actually kind of like translated into like almost just a verbal like talisman. Like you don't like sometimes people just say knock on wood. That you don't actually even knock on wood anymore.
Yeah, because people knock on anything, like, not really wood. This definitely isn't wood.
Particle board.
Knock on cheap desk. Knock on computer.
But what is the origin of knocking on wood?
Sounds dirty. I don't know, Kayla. What is the origin of knocking on wood?
Well, so I guess originally you didn't actually have to knock on the wood. You just had to touch it. Just had to just stroke it. Oh,
God, all right.
I'm glad this one's up
Keep
first.
talking about your wood.
All right, talking about wood. I don't have wood. Oh my god, now I'm going to talk about Jesus. Okay, so...
He was a carpenter.
So, medieval churches, they often claimed to have wood from Jesus' cross. So by touching Jesus' wood, people believed that they connected with the divine and that they would receive good luck because of it. And so then this started extending even just beyond Christianity. Okay. It also could have some origins in pagan rituals, because a lot of pagan religions, trees were worshipped and seen as homes of good spirits and even some gods. So, worshipers would lay their hands on a tree when asking for favors, or they would touch a tree as an act of thanks after having good fortune, or to seek protection. So, it's kind of... So the knocking on wood kind of originates both pagan and Christian.
I didn't know that at all. That's super interesting.
Yeah. And it's just kind of funny, like thousands of years later, we're still
doing it.
Still touching that wood.
Every day.
Stroking it.
It sure is lucky. It's something. There's a few jokes coming up that I'm just like, no. Let's not do that. Yeah. You talked about Jesus' wood.
I did. So crossing your fingers. Oh. That's another superstition. Also, them Christians, they came up with a lot of superstitions. So this one is, like when we want a good luck, we'll cross our fingers. And it dates back to early Christianity, when two people would cross their index fingers to make a wish. And it was like a symbol of support from a friend to the person making the wish. Okay. And it kind of like symbolized the shape of the cross. Oh. So, because like we would do it like
it's like a super pinky promise.
Yeah, kind of like a pinky promise, yeah.
This is like a weirdy handshake.
We should definitely be filming us right now.
A weird
that was super awkward. And so then that tradition, it gradually became something that people could just do on their own. And even today, like, you can just say fingers crossed. You don't even necessarily have to, kind of like the knocking on wood.
For people that don't have friends, like, you don't need a friend to make a wish. Cross your own
do it yourself.
Touch yourself.
Oh, here's the big one.
Oh.
The number 13 is unlucky. Kind of already talked about this.
Does 13 have a bad rap?
I know, yeah, why does it get a bad rap?
Justice for 13.
Well, let's see. So kind of throughout human history, the number 13 is just, it's an infamous number because 13 in a lot of cultures is deemed unlucky. That started even with the ancient Sumerians believe that because when they developed their numerical system, 12 was deemed to be the perfect number. And what comes after 12?
14.
Yeah, according to buildings in America.
Wait, why is 12 perfect?
Because it has to do with you can more numbers are divisible by 12 than 10, so it's just like a perfect number. I mean, like our clocks, for instance. How many months are in a year?
I don't know.
12.
I know. I just like disappointing you. I spilled Doritos in her car earlier today.
She's just continuing with the disappointment.
Yep, she's allergic to cats. I brought a blanket full of cat hair into her car. This is great. The podcast is ending today.
It is. This is our final episode.
It's the final
countdown.
Podcast. Sorry.
13 being unlucky also has its roost. Good. Still can't talk.
I'm catching on.
Has its roots in Norse mythology, because 12 gods were invited to dine at Valhalla, a magnificent banquet hall in Asgard, the city of the gods. Loki, the god of strife and evil, crashed the party, raising the number of attendees to 13.
Strife and evil. I feel like you're giving Loki a bad rap here.
The other gods, they tried to kick Loki out, and in the struggle that ensued, Balder, the favorite among them, was killed. The Scandinavian avoidance of seating 13 people at a dinner table spread south to the rest of Europe, and it was also reinforced by Christians in the New Testament by the story of the Last Supper, at which Judas, the disciple who betrayed Jesus, was the 13th guest at the table.
Huh.
There is even a rumor that the former Queen of England, has a rule that there must be fewer or more than 13 guests in attendance at a formal dinner.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Fun fact.
That is a fun fact. That is a good fun fact.
Mm-hmm. It also kind of then relates to, why we fear Friday the 13th. Which, do you know the story, or the, I guess, most commonly accepted story of why Friday the 13th is unlucky?
I don't think so.
It has to do with the Knights Templar.
Ooh.
Yeah. Okay. Do we need some history on the Knights of the Templar? Apparently I wrote it out.
You're a professor.
They were a military group founded in 1118 in Jerusalem that lasted for 2 centuries. They were charged with protecting pilgrims along the road from Europe to Jerusalem. These knights also created a revolutionary banking system that protected pilgrims' finances. Since these pilgrims traveled long distances through Europe on their way to Jerusalem, they could deposit their money at one location and then pick it up at the next so that they would not get robbed on the road.
I didn't know that.
Well, by the 1300s, so the knights became very wealthy because of this. And by the 1300s, King Philip IV of France owed a considerable sum to the Knights of the Templar and was jealous of the Templars' success. So he came up with a plan to exterminate all of the Templars in a single day. The day chosen was Friday, October 13th, 1307.
So, honestly, it's only unlucky if you're a knight.
True.
Good to know.
1 month prior to that date, he began his move against them by sending out a secret order to his agents in all parts of France to implement a mass arrest of all Templars at dawn on the 13th of October. With Pope Clement V's backing, Philip accused the knights of such horrible offenses that no one would come to their aid. The plan was executed well, and the knights were arrested. Their properties were taken. Medieval torture techniques were used to acquire confessions. And finally, they were burned at the stake after years of imprisonment.
It's kind of like Order 66 from Star Wars.
That's probably
Where
where...
he killed all the Jedi.
It probably is where he maybe got the inspiration from. Likely. But,
Me, I'm just going to scribble down a note.
ooh, I am not going to be able to say this name. So, the Grand Master of the Templars... Jacques de Molay.
Guacamole.
Yes.
Mole, mole, mole.
Jacques de Molay, the Grand Master of the Templars, he recounted his confession, and because of that, King Philip had him burned at the stake on March 18th, 1314. And his final words were used to curse King Philip IV and Pope Clement V and state that they would both be dead at the end of the year. And both men did meet their demise before the year's end, which kind of just adds even more clout to the power of the lore of the Friday the 13th. Pope Clement succumbed to a long illness on April 20th, 1314, and King Philip died due to a stroke while hunting. And then followed the rapid succession of the last direct, of his family line, because his 3 sons and grandson all died within 14 years of that Grand Master being killed. So
But not 13.
then his line ended. And
It's definitely the number's fault.
so that's the curse. So yeah, that
13.
Friday the 13th.
Dun,
But Taylor Swift loves 13.
She does.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's her lucky
She's
number.
just like, I love 13.
It's her lucky number.
I don't know if I have a lucky number. What's your lucky number?
It depends on my mood. It's either 3 or 8. I like both.
I don't think I have one.
You're gonna pick 13, aren't you?
Well, I like 6 because my birthday's on the 6th. And I like 26.
Yeah.
I don't have any emotional attachment. I hate numbers.
12 is a perfect number.
No, it's not. It's too pointy.
It's too pointy. Reminds me of time.
Yeah. Ew, I hate time. Yeah. Anything on a clock. I can't like 6 then. 6 on a clock?
Yeah. It's hard because we're all so digital now. We don't
I'm
look
just
at
picturing a clock and I just see dots. I'm like, wish a clock. How'd time go? No. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Timey-wimey.
God.
Who invented the clock? That had to be really complicated.
Somebody who's just like, you know what? The sun rising and setting's not enough for me. I need numbers to tell me when I need to wear pants.
But then there's 24 hours in a day, but we're not going to put 24 numbers on a clock. We're just going to repeat 12.
But even there being
And the
24.
6 is going to mean 30.
It's all arbitrary anyways.
Yeah, what is time? It doesn't actually exist.
Time is... my kid tells time perfectly. Nighttime is dark sky and daytime's blue sky. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. It's true.
It's coming not dark sky, it's black sky. Black sky is coming. That's when you know it's night.
That sounds ominous. Black sky is
That's what he does. He panics when we're driving. He's like, Mommy, black sky's coming!
We must get home!
Pretty much he's like, drive faster!
Aw.
It's like we're being chased by the night.
Ooh, there's a story in there, I feel like.
I feel like that's what happened at the beginning of James and the Giant Peach.
Oh, that movie scarred me. I didn't
Me
like
too.
it. I didn't like it.
I liked it though.
Yeah, that tracks. It was just I think it was like the animation.
It was disgusting.
It was.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah. But it was emotionally scarring and I watched it a lot.
That tracks.
You were already possessed. You didn't need to find
I didn't need to.
You didn't need to seek out the evil. It was within you. I had to find outward sources.
I was born with it.
You were born with evil.
Born with the evil. My brother might think that.
That's probably right.
Well, let's see. What's next on my list? Ooh, bad luck comes in 3s. I feel like you say that,
Yeah.
especially when celebrity deaths, there'll be 2 in a week, and you're like,
Next.
oh, the 3rd one's coming. You kind of where does that stem from? And that one's probably kind of more, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Prophecy.
Prophecy. Big words. They hard.
Big wood hard prophecy.
We just tend to gravitate toward things in groupings of 3. It's kind of like 1 is random, 2 is a coincidence, but 3, there must be meaning. I think, yeah, that one didn't really have a ton of, like, history on where it comes from, but just kind of, it probably is just something we just naturally kind of try to find meaning in.
I was trying to think of
grouping
something
things.
it could be, but they're like 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess 3's ominous enough.
Mm-hmm. And then it kind of, like, gives you comfort, like, oh, when the 3rd bad thing happened, then you're like, you know what? That's all right. And we're starting over.
What happens if there's a 4th bad thing? Are you just restarting?
I guess so.
Like, God damn it, I need another 2.
Yeah, or you're just cursed.
Yeah. That's fair, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of related is beginner's luck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's a superstition.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting one to highlight. Like, just enough people. I don't feel like I've ever had beginner's luck.
Like, you never, like, played a board game for the first time and you, like, won? Or...
I don't think so.
Oh.
I'm a failure.
You don't have beginner's luck.
No, I think in order to have beginner's luck, you need to not be so hard on yourself that you're like, you did this terribly.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, no, that was bad. Everything was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. This one's kind of similar. It doesn't necessarily have, like, a history of when did that start. Did we start calling thing, like, beginner's luck? But it probably just originated from, you know, like, we never like to admit that someone could be better at a game than us. So you're like, oh, well, the only reason you're winning is because this is the first time you're playing.
You're just lucky.
Yeah. Beginners also might win more because the new person, you're just less stressed about winning. Because you're like, oh, well, I don't understand this game. And
yeah, because without the pressure, you might actually do better.
Yeah. So...
Ironic.
But it is statistically, like, a lot of times there's stats that but it probably just relates to you're just maybe have less anxiety when you're playing something new, so that's maybe just why beginners win more.
That's telling.
It's funny. Yeah.
I don't think I'll have that's why I don't win. Too much stress.
Well, since you don't have beginner's luck, you could carry a rabbit's foot to bring you luck.
Gotta go find a rabbit.
Did you? So I think I kind of discussed this a little bit in our warding off evil episode. I think I brought up, like, talismans and, you know, they're a way to fend off evil. And a rabbit's foot is a talisman that dates back to Celtic tribes in Great Britain. And it may be connected to the European good luck charm called the Hand of Glory. Which, have you heard of that? I think Obituary maybe talked about that in an episode, but that's where a hand is cut from a hanged man and believed to have powers.
Yeah.
Which is just, God, they were weird in the Middle Ages.
Kayla, moment.
Yes.
Do you remember a few weekends ago when I was over at your family's house and you were like, hey, guess what we did today? We went and saw a dead nun.
You probably never would have guessed what I did in a million years.
No. You want to see a picture of this dead lady? No. Well, here she is. Guess what? We touched her. And now you're like, God, these people were so weird chopping off hands and touching them because they thought it was lucky. You just saw this whole ass dead lady.
So I'm a bit of a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Well, for some context, that was Sister Wilhelmina.
She's
She was a Catholic,
you're allowed to touch.
Yeah, a Catholic nun who, in Gower, Missouri, there's a convent that she founded, and she died 4 years ago, and they just recently, in April, they were moving her grave, and they dug her up, and she's, like, totally preserved. Like, even her clothes, even though there was, like, a crack in her coffin, and there was, like, water at the bottom, like, her clothes were totally not at all eaten by bugs, and, yeah, she was pretty...
I feel like anybody else they would have suspected of
So
being
that's
a
like can be
vampire.
a sign. Yeah, well, back in the Middle Ages, yeah, they would have stabbed her heart. But
Yeah.
so, anyways, in the Catholic
She could
Church,
be a
then that's
vampire
kind of
nun.
like she might is a sign of holiness if you're not decaying. So then it was kind of this like for a week she was on display, and it's a belief that if you touch her, like touch someone like this that's so holy, you know, there's miracles can happen and miraculous healing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it.
I did
It was real weird, I will say.
What'd you touch?
Her hand.
Oh, you touched her hand, huh?
Uh-huh.
Kind of like a hand of glory.
What was I we talking about?
The hand of glory. You're like, God, people were weird back then.
They're still weird today.
Yeah, I just thought we needed to just bring that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, you know what? If I miraculously heal, I don't know what I'm healing from. You'll be sorry that you didn't go with me.
I'll just wait for another nun to die.
And be dug up a few years later.
God, maybe like 5 years.
What if she becomes a saint?
What if she's a vampire?
That's cool, too.
I don't think those bless you, Kayla.
One of my favorite lines from True Blood was, like, Jason, he, like, said, like, he called Jesus a vampire because he, like, drank. He's like, he has people to, like, drink his blood, and then he, like, rose from the dead. And I'm like, you know what?
That's basically what this conversation just turned into.
You got some good points.
Like, oh my God, Jesus was a vampire.
He rose Lazarus from the dead, you know, probably by turning him.
He was either a vampire or a zombie, but he did like blood a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Makes people drink his blood.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we gotta use grape juice now.
So, this is why if you're a non-Catholic and you go to a Catholic Mass, you're not supposed to take the communion, because Catholics believe that it's not just a symbol, it actually becomes the body and blood of Jesus Christ. So, that is special.
Yummy.
And we use wine, no grape juice.
See, that's a good selling point.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's blood.
That's what got my dad converted.
Blood?
When he, no. No, the Catholics like to drink. He like went with my mom to like some function and he was like, there's a beer garden here?
That is a good selling point.
Because he grew up RLDS, so, you know.
Not a lot of drinking.
Not a lot of drinking at those events.
No.
So he was like, I'll be Catholic.
Hell yeah.
We got liquor all over the place.
How many dead nuns I gotta touch?
No, it's not funny.
It's okay, you can feel Catholic guilt tomorrow.
Oh, that is also very powerful. Okay, what was I talking about? Rabbit's foot. Did you ever have one? Like, I feel like that was big in the 90s. Like, I had a bright pink one.
That was real.
That I got, oh, yeah, for sure. Probably got it at, like, Chuck E. Cheese or something. And I definitely had it, yeah. The 90s were weird, man. Like, who would thought, like, can you imagine today, like, you take to, like, a toy store and there's just, like, oh, yes.
He would cry. He loves rabbits.
He'd be like,
Would you like this, Mommy? Hey, cut off a rabbit's foot.
Would you like to clip it onto your backpack?
Rub it on your face for good luck.
Yeah, like, that is so weird.
Lots of kids had it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I had a pink one.
Yeah, I don't think I had any rabbit or animal parts with me. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
No.
Good for you. So that belief could also stem from the hand of glory, as I said, and we went on a tangent about. It could also stem from the belief that witches could shapeshift into rabbits. And so a true lucky rabbit's foot was actually cut from a shape-shifted witch. It's kind of more disturbing.
So it's a lucky witch's foot.
There's also traditions in hoodoo, which is a form of African American folk magic and spirituality. And they have beliefs that state that it must be the left hind foot of a rabbit shot or captured in a cemetery. And that rabbit must be taken on the full moon or a new moon. So yeah, that's kind of a fun little thing. Yeah.
What is up with this, like, I guess it kind of, in some ways, feels a little bit like, you know, some cultures believe that if you consume something, you absorb some of its powers, like,
So it's kind of a similar
physicality of it, like, having something,
yeah,
which is powerful, you have a witch on you, you have some of that protection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or you're just a dick.
There's actually been a couple stories from like American presidents from the early 1900s who, you know, kind of believed this. During the 1884 election campaign of Grover Cleveland, he allegedly received a rabbit's foot that had been killed on the grave of Jesse James, the famous, you know, outlaw. Ugh. And President Theodore Roosevelt wrote in his autobiography that he was given a gold-mounted rabbit's foot by John L. Sullivan. I don't know who that is, but but it's also just funny that he would note in his biography, I was gifted a
like
rabbit's,
my prized possession.
This gold-mounted rabbit's foot. I have it on my mantle.
Can you imagine that that's just decorations, like you're his wife and you have to live with that and you're like, God damn it, put your rabbit's foot somewhere else, over the toilet.
So, I don't know. That's such a weird thing that, like, moved all the way into, like...
Now it's a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. I mean,
Now I kind of want a rabbit's foot. I could just tell people...
I wonder what happened to my pink rabbit's foot.
Turn back into a witch.
Wouldn't you think if you cut it, if it was a witch, and you cut it off, it would, like, resort back to human form?
That's what I would think, yeah. Like, you just have a full lady's foot.
Even worse.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, same thing, I guess. It's just one's more travel-sized for your convenience. What's that? Is that from Shrek? I'm travel-sized for your convenience.
It seems like it would be.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about Lucky Rabbit's Foot. Continuing the luck theme, finding a 4-leaf clover is lucky. And that one's kind of just self-explanatory because 4-leaf clovers are rare, so because it's rare, it must be lucky and powerful.
Obvious.
And clovers were once believed to keep away witches and also to allow the person that found them to see the fairies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to see the fairies.
Yeah, because they're not like the cute little Tinkerbell.
No, maybe it'd be good to know. Maybe that's so I can find why I keep losing stuff.
Damn fairies.
Fairies.
Wishing on a shooting star. Do you ever do that?
I don't usually catch them.
Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Yeah, and then
But
I'm
I
so
see
busy
one.
going, ooh.
Then I'm like, damn it, I missed it.
Didn't win it again.
So this kind of, the history on this one is twinkling stars were considered to be gods or supernatural beings, and since it was considered unlucky to point to a star, people would wish on them to petition good luck without offending the supernatural being.
So you piss them off by pointing at them?
Yeah, so you don't point.
So
Instead,
that's what
you
I
just
usually
like,
do. I'm like, ooh, I'm pointing at it. That explains why. It's a good thing I don't even try to wish. They're just like, God, she's pointing again. She's so rude.
Don't point at the gods and the stars.
I thought they were just big balls of gas up in that big bluish black thing.
No, a shooting star was a tangible symbol of the gods interacting with the humans, coming down. And in that moment, humans would make a wish because they thought it was more likely to be heard and granted because it was falling to earth.
Oh.
Because the gods were,
What if they're just dying?
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, don't make a wish on it with a dying god, man.
I don't even know what to say to that. I don't know
what this energy is.
I don't even know either. This episode, hopefully it's you're learning something.
I'm learning a lot. I'm sorry, I'm being myself too much.
In ancient Greece and also later in Christian tradition, shooting stars were thought to be falling souls from the heavens or angels. So making a wish on a falling star would improve your fortune because it was an uncommon phenomenon. That's kind of weird. You're like thinking it's good luck because an angel is falling? Now that I'm thinking about it, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
That's where we're gonna stop things not making sense. We're gonna bring logic into this now.
That specific point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe Satan's lucky and when an angel's falling, we're like, oh man, they're about to get real lucky.
Yep. Yeah.
Maybe what we've learned is don't make wishes on falling stars because nobody knows what's falling. Because apparently it's not a star or a comet or anything.
It's definitely like just meteor stuff.
No, Kayla.
It's a person.
Yeah, it's
an
person.
angel.
Haven't you seen the movie Stardust? And
I
now a
love
witch
that
is gonna
movie.
hunt her for her heart.
I love that movie.
Right? It's a good movie. So
Top
that's
5,
what's happening.
Top 5 favorite movies.
Yeah. So now we know there's a lady falling out of the sky.
Well, you better make a wish.
I thought we just said we...
You can say there's even the little like there's the little saying. There's like a little nursery rhyme or something,
Na, na,
Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have this wish I wish tonight. Did you ever say that?
No.
Your childhood was robbed.
My childhood was full of darkness.
There were no stars to wish upon.
I lived in the dirt.
With your rabbit's foot.
My friends were worms.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, so we'll just gonna move on. Oh, did you ever see this one? Find a penny, pick it up.
No.
All day long you'll have good luck.
No.
Not superstition? No? You never said that? Find a penny, pick it up. All day long you're
No, I just go, ooh, penny.
But you gotta pick it up head side. You leave it if it's tails.
You don't even touch it?
Yeah, you leave it.
What if you just, like, accidentally kick it and it flips over and they're like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. No.
Well, who's dictating this? Who's overseeing? All of you like, uh-oh.
Yep.
They picked up a tails up penny. Screwed.
So this belief, it's kind of a spin-off of an old rhyme, which is, see a pin, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck. See a pin, let it lay, and your luck will pass away. So somehow, yeah, P-I-N.
A pin.
Mm-hmm. So somehow that translated into penny, which maybe it's because in some, like, ancient civilizations, like, copper was very valued, so that might kind of be where it translated to a penny.
Yeah, you're just like, I can't pick that up, it's the wrong side, but boy, that's actually worth something right now. Now, if you just get a penny, like, I don't have space
for that. Yeah, my wallet's full of pennies. What am I going to do with these?
These aren't worth anything. I have to count to use them.
Yep. Ooh, have you ever done this one? Making a wish on a wishbone? I used to do this with my grandma when she'd make a turkey.
No.
No, you never got to pull the wishbone?
No.
And if you got the lucky side, the bigger side, you could make a wish?
No.
Man, more childhood moments that you didn't have.
I was, like, the only kid around for a lot of things, so it was just a lot of sitting while adults were talking.
Well, yeah, it was just me and my brother. We don't have any first cousins, so I guess I had my brother, but kind of can relate. Yeah. But, this tradition of making a wish on a wishbone, it comes from my favorite peeps, the ancient Romans.
I like that little jig you did. Ancient Romans, here we go.
They're my peeps.
Okay, whose bones were they breaking?
Well, first century Romans, they used to fight over wishbones because they believed it was good luck. And when they would break them, it then started this belief, like, they just believed wishbones in general were good luck, but then they would, like, start fighting over them, and then they'd be like, I have the bigger half, so I get to make the wish. Kind of, that's the legend. It's kind of weird that, like, why that bone from a bird?
Because you can break it. It's fun to
I
break.
guess. Yeah.
Look at it. Like, this looks like it needs to snap.
Well, and I guess because, like, bird bones have been used in, like, divination throughout history, and, you know, you've got, like, soothsayers throwing bones and reading their patterns to predict the future, so I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of funny with just, like, those just stick around.
Maybe we need to have a Superstitions Thanksgiving this year. And we can.
Yeah. I'll make a turkey, and we can...
I can snap a wishbone.
You
That's
can.
See,
I'll let you maybe have the bigger half, because you can kind of tell which way it's going to break.
Oh, well, that's just cheating. I don't need your pity luck, Kayla. I just think a wishbone just reminds me of the dog.
I
the little
know.
Terry.
That's such a good
Love
show.
Wishbone.
Great
So
actor.
We're talking about snapping, but he was a fantastic actor. I wonder what happened to him.
Well,
Think he's
I don't-
retired?
I don't.
Think he went to the farm?
He's definitely retired.
Yeah.
In the ground.
He's probably... What? You think he lives underground? Like a hobbit?
Most definitely.
That's nice.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Aw. Maybe he's got descendants.
Probably wasn't even the same dog the whole time.
No, they probably had multiple dogs.
He probably died at least 4 times before the show ended.
Isn't that like the show like Lassie, or I don't know, there's some show like, yeah, they had multiple dogs.
A lot of things with animals swap. Like, I even think, like in Lord of the Rings, I think Shadowfax had like a couple different horses. I think I almost called them Shadowhacks.
Shadowhacks.
Oh, Shadowhacks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was that voice? Oh, yeah. The Kool-Aid man.
Oh, yeah.
God. Wow.
Oh, you probably know where this one comes from. saying bless you when someone sneezes?
Because you think their heart stops?
Gosh, your Christianity knowledge is terrible.
I don't have any, Kayla.
It was believed that like evil spirits would enter a person's body when they sneezed. So by saying "God bless you," a person bestows blessings on the sneezer to ward off the evil spirits. And at this particular custom, it started by Pope Gregory the Great in the 6th century A.D. because a terrible sickness was spreading through Italy at the time, and he urged the healthy to pray for the sick by saying "God bless you." And so now we just shorten it to "bless you." But.
So what I'm hearing is that evil spirits are germs.
Yeah, which is kind of untrue. Germs are evil.
What was that?
Yeah, from like
the evil pinky thing.
From Austin Powers.
Yeah. Oh, it's been a while since I watched that. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah, I like that you're just shocked that I don't know any Christian trivia.
Not taking you to Christian trivia nights.
Yeah, don't do that. Like, who the hell is your friend, Kayla?
How about bad luck when a black cat crosses your path?
That's just people having bad taste.
I know, because black kitties are so cute.
Yeah, and that's bad for black cats because people are mean to them and they
you can't buy them or adopt them like on Halloween, or isn't there rules
that's the thing, and also like they have to have specials because there are so many black cats in shelters, and I want a black cat.
My friend Kat had a black cat, Magic.
Oh.
He was so cute.
I feel like if I get one, I have to name it Salem.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My friend Kirsty, you met her. She has a black cat named Binks. Like Hocus
That's
Pocus.
perfect.
Zachary Binks. I had a crush on him.
Well, I think we all did.
It was still there when he was a cat, though.
Oh, well.
I mean, it wasn't the cat, it was his voice.
Right.
And then he just wasn't around much. It's like when Casper turned into her human briefly, and I'm like, why is he back to being a little white blob?
Yeah.
Keep him as a boy.
Yes, I think we all wanted him to stay.
Yeah.
That's a sad movie. Really.
Casper?
Yeah, when you kind of think about it.
I guess.
Don't think too hard about your childhood movies.
He's the happy ghost.
Yeah.
He meets Hilary Duff in the next movie.
That's true, he had a good...
He had a good death.
He had a good run.
He didn't have feet. He couldn't run.
He had a good float. So where does black cat's bad luck? This likely arose from old beliefs in witches and their animal familiars, which were often said to take the form of domestic animals like cats. During the Middle Ages, people all over Europe believed that black cats were bad luck and a sign that the devil was watching you. And since they believed that black cats were the familiars of witches, or that they were even the witches themselves in disguise.
Thank God they didn't do cat's
and of course,
feet instead of rabbit's feet.
That superstition traveled with those dumb pilgrims.
Oh, dumb pilgrims.
To America. So that's why we still got it today.
Black cats.
Mm-hmm. But, the ancient Egyptians, they actually had the opposite belief because, they, basically worshipped cats. So they revered all cats regardless of color. And so a black cat crossing your path was good luck.
I'm going to take that one.
So we're just going to go with the ancient Egyptians.
I pretty much always consider any cat crossing my path bad luck, and then I'll follow it going, please love me. And then they're like, fuck you. And then they flip their tail.
And they're like, no.
Then I'm sad.
We will not grace you with our presence.
Not friends.
What else do I got here? Oh, don't walk under open ladders.
Yeah.
That one's kind of just like common sense, though. Like, you shouldn't walk under an open ladder.
Right, that just seems, that's just good advice.
So that one's more just like, it's
like, that's not a superstition, that's just general
good,
life.
Yeah. But the kind of history of the superstition, aside from it just being like a safety precaution, it's also that ladders kind of resemble medieval gallows. Oh. So if you walked under a ladder, you were destined for the gallows yourself. Criminals had to walk under a ladder on their way to the gallows.
That just seems like,
So.
are they just making sure they don't get away at that point? Like, we're dooming you even if you
Yeah.
escape. You
Yeah.
walked under a ladder, you're as good as dead.
Uh-huh.
Wow, that's cold.
Yeah. But there's also some belief that can even go back to, you know, the ancient Egyptians, because to them, a ladder leaning against a wall, it formed a triangle, and the Egyptians believed triangles as sacred and representing the trinity of the gods. So to pass through a triangle was to desecrate the gods.
Interesting.
So
So that's really bad news bears for people that break into pyramids then, huh?
yeah.
That's like double whammy. That's like triple
Well, I mean,
whammy.
there's some beliefs on curses. Don't mess with that shit.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I do want to go to Egypt though.
I do too.
Maybe not right now.
Yeah. And honestly, like, if Brendan Fraser isn't there,
Be a real big letdown.
what are we doing? I don't
I
have...
love how I think, do we bring up the mummy in almost every episode recently?
We might.
Do we have a crush? No.
On the entire cast? No.
Yes.
Except Benny.
No, but he's funny.
He is funny. Everyone else, though.
Everyone else have a crush. Even Emotep.
I did. Yeah.
He's got a shirt off a lot.
Emotep. Emotep.
This is another, like, really practical one that's more just a safety concern. You know, that it's bad luck to open an umbrella indoors.
Yeah.
Because you just might poke someone's eye out.
I almost.
And I guess that this superstition kind of originated in Victorian London when the umbrellas were just like these big metal spokes, and they had a really clumsy spring mechanism, so they were dangerous to open around
Were there
people.
a lot of umbrella incidents?
I wonder if there were. Kind of like there was that time where like a lot of women were engulfed, their nightgowns caught fire during the Victorian times.
God, they just found a lot of things out
Because
the hard way then.
it's like they would put, I think it was because in their night...
Oh, like they did in Pirates of the Caribbean? They put the coals at the foot of the bed?
Well, that might also have triggered fires, but no, there was this, it's a big thing. I think it was like a Cabinets of Curiosities episode, but now I can't remember the details. But there was something that they put in women's nightgowns that was extremely flammable. So as women would walk by fireplaces, it'd just be like, poof.
A little funny.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things they found out then. We're like, oh, we probably shouldn't have this near people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait to find out what our things now are going to be.
Yeah.
We kind of know them now, and we're just like, eh.
Yeah, at least now we're at least more aware. Like, you know, we're not putting like radium on our faces because it's cool that it glows. Like, I think we know not to do that stuff.
We're like making people like matchsticks without all the things.
Yeah, some sad times back then. So, anyways.
Anywho.
You kind of talked about this one in your mirrors episode, but, you know, breaking a mirror, 7 years of bad luck. That one, you know, it's because, you know, the Romans believed that, you know, people's soul changed in 7-year cycles, so that's kind of where the 7 part comes from.
And I'm still very curious about how the cycle works on there. Like,
yeah, when does it like start?
like you just have to track. You just have to count and see where you are in your soul cycle, and you can know, okay, I can break a mirror now. I only have 2 years of bad luck, because then I'm resetting. Unless it carries over, I just don't see that working logistically, though.
We need to ask an ancient Roman ghost.
Yeah, or is there like an HR department for superstitions?
Yeah, I need the
Like, what's the
logistic
timeline on this? Because I really have been wanting to break a mirror, but I really just don't want the 7 years.
Yeah, so I'm at the end. Am I close to the end of my 7 years restarting? Like, is now a good time?
Yeah, like I'd like a good 3, maybe.
Ooh, this one you were talking about, holding your breath while passing a cemetery. Where does that one come from?
I don't know. Where does it come from?
In a way, this is kind of a more modern superstition because it really just applies to like us passing cemeteries while we're in a car, because it doesn't apply if you're just walking by, because you'd have to hold your breath a real long time. So I don't know. It might have just started as kind of like a game to play in the cars with kids, you know. But
I'm pretty convinced it was a way to make your kids shut up for a while.
Exactly. But there's kind of maybe some lore behind it, because breath is associated with life and spirits, and maybe you don't want to make them jealous by breathing as you're passing through the cemetery.
It's really inconvenient when you're actually like having to attend a burial.
Because how it's so offensive that you're still alive and they're not. So don't breathe.
People think ghosts are real petty.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of them are.
Some of them are, yeah. But, you know, you're still walking.
Yeah. It could also just, like, stem from you don't want to, like, breathe in a spirit, you know?
That's always what I thought. I pictured it as, like, I can't breathe any ghosties in.
Especially the evil ones.
But, like, does you not breathe that's just, like, no entries possible anymore because you're not breathing and ghosts are just air.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, that's kind of related to why we cover our mouths when we yawn. You don't want to let them evil spirits in.
Shit, I don't. I just...
Damn it, we should be video recording.
I'm just catching them. It's like a butterfly net up in here.
Oh my god. Okay, I've got one more. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton I'm missing, but I've just tried to hit the big ones, like thinking of
These
them.
are most of the ones I could think of.
Yeah, like, that are just prevalent in America. But I'm going to end on the big bad.
The big bad.
The number 666. Da 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 da. This is, of course, comes from the Bible. In the book of Revelation, 666 is given as the number of the beast and is often interpreted as the mark of Satan and a sign of the end times. But why 666? According to this article I read from anthropologist Philip Stevens, he said that like 3 sixes in a row is probably the numeric equivalent of the Hebrew letters for the 1st century Roman Emperor Nero, who, you know, he bad.
He bad.
So that's kind of his belief of like, why? Like, that's such a random number.
That's cool, though.
When you really think about it, 666. But,
It is random.
my bank account has 666 in it, my checking account.
You could get a new one.
I thought about that when I got my checks and I was like, do I go through the process of getting a new bank account? Maybe that's why I never have money.
It's the devil.
It has nothing to do with my spending habits.
No, every time you spend, like, the devil made me do it.
The devil made me do it. That's my justification now. Devil made me do it.
This might be related, because I know they're like angel numbers too. Do you know what 888 and 999? Do you know why those are significant?
No.
I don't either. We might need to cut this out. I don't know, but like there was a couple getting those tattooed when I was in the parlor today, and I think yeah, they're angel numbers.
Well, 8 kind of looks like infinity.
So 888 is associated with karma, but yeah, they're like angel numbers. I don't know if that's even... It probably doesn't fall... It's probably more of like a spiritualist stuff than like actual...
Well, if 666 is like Satan, he was an angel.
Yeah, and then 999... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's like Christian symbolism, probably not, but I just knew that there were different angel numbers in addition to... And then Satan. So maybe every angel has a number or something. It's like a Walker code in heaven.
God couldn't remember their names, so he just gave them numbers.
You're like, 666. You again.
You again, you troublemaker.
You troublemaker. You little naughty.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of just some big ones I researched, and I don't know if you guys have any others that I missed.
Yeah, I want to hear more.
I can leave on one more, because as I was researching, I found there's a whole, like, in America, like, the South has a whole lot of superstitions that are very specific just to the American South. But there was one that I thought was kind of fun that I can tease for maybe a future episode if it's a topic. But, so in the American South, a lot of them, they paint their porches a specific color called haint blue. And that is because it's a folklore kind of turned tradition, and it was originally intended to ward off evil spirits, where people believed that haints, which are angry spirits stuck between worlds, they were attempting to get into their homes. And since they thought that souls couldn't traverse bodies of water, people made this watery blue-green pigment known as haint blue, and they would paint their porch ceilings to deceive the ghosts. And then it's kind of now just become a design trend in the South.
Like, oh my God, there's water.
I can't get in that house.
I can't cross the water.
No, that's kind of mean. They thought the ghosts were that dumb.
Yeah, maybe that makes them more violent because they're just like, these people think I'm an idiot.
Uh-huh. So, yeah, and it could be fun to do. I know we've talked about doing, like, voodoo topic or just, all the superstitions in the South.
Yeah, there are a lot of different, and I know they're, like, I feel like every culture has its own specific superstitions, and even
True. Native American.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to learn more of those, and I think it changes regionally, so you could probably just find all kinds of things.
Yeah, there's probably some, like, specific to, like, I don't know, the more north towards Canada, or,
I think I don't know. Maybe I have none because I grew up in California, and we have no.
That's true. California is just so laid back, whatever.
We think if you're nice, Mickey Mouse will come give you a kiss goodnight.
That's your superstition.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously I did the breathing thing. What's the tossing salt over your shoulder?
Oh, yeah, because I talked about that one in my...
Yeah, we talked about... I can't remember it now.
That one was... Because there was a belief that, like... Well, I think was it somewhere in, like, an Asian culture, they believe that sometimes if you attended a funeral, an evil spirit could latch onto your back. And salt is, like, very just revered in, like, pretty much all religions.
Okay, I remember this now.
But then there's also, like, kind of the devil on your left shoulder
just
in Christianity.
Salt in his face.
Yeah. Be like, get off me, you bitch.
You bitch. Okay, what about running around your car, like, 3 times? But no, I thought if you, like, saw a black cat cross your path and you're driving your car, you're supposed to, like, get out and run around it 3 times, like, counterclockwise or something.
I have not heard that one.
Huh.
All right, well, I will do that if I see a black cat. I'll just get out of my car no matter what I'm on, what I'm driving. Run around.
Superstitions.
Do. Yeah, I don't know. I was just making a list. Kind of thought it'd be fun to talk about.
I thought it was really fun.
I don't know.
I didn't know a lot of that stuff, so that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you all know that Kayla touched a dead nun.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? When I have miracles happen, you'll be glad you know me.
Well, she'll still be dead. I'll go find her.
Well, she was 95, so, she had a good run.
Just saying. If she decays in the future, then you know that touching her was useless.
You can still go see her. She is now encased in glass at the chapel.
Glass can be broken.
Yeah. Oh. You gonna break into Sister Wilhelmina?
Well, if I'm desperate.
I need your power.
I need it.
Just kind of, religions are just so weird. I like to think that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it, Kayla?
I can't really stop and think about it too much.
Just like how those pagans were just so weird.
Well, basically the Catholics just were like, it's much easier if we just absorb all these Roman pagan rituals instead of actually... That's just easier to convert them.
And we did see the finger of a saint in the museum, so everybody been chopping up dead people for good luck all these years.
It's also like, until recently, you weren't supposed to be cremated in the Catholic Church because they, we're going to need our bodies when, the
zombies.
Yeah, which just is interesting. But
it's like, can I get a?
But now it's okay. Like the Catholic Church come out, and it's like it's okay to be cremated, but you can't spread your ashes. Like you need to keep yourself all together. So then it's kind of weird to think like they didn't have a problem cutting up saints and dispersing their bodies everywhere. But it's like, but you tell us we need to keep our bodies intact. But
also, where do the the iOS updates come from for Catholicism?
From the Pope, from the Vatican.
And again,
he gets them from God.
All right.
He has a direct line.
And God's just sitting there. He's like, you know what?
It's okay, actually.
I think I can find the workaround for cremation. I'll just put them in a little like glass body case.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna be a bunch of dust swirling around in a glass jar.
Don't disperse those. So if you're Catholic, you're not supposed to like, oh, this family member gets a little bit of ashes, this family member gets a little bit of ashes. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
They need to keep them together.
Yeah, you gotta make it easy for God.
So he can find
He's
you.
gonna have.
When Jesus comes back, he needs your body.
Just gonna get everybody out in a wheelbarrow. Like, I'm gonna line them all up. We need a whole line of everybody.
That's his army. That's how he it's a zombie army. That's how he's gonna defeat Satan, the Antichrist. I've never read the book of Revelation. It kind of weirds me out. So I actually have maybe this is in there. I have no idea. Catholics, we kind of just stick to the New Testament. Like, we don't really read, I don't know. I don't know the Old Testament very well. I just know the 4 Gospels. That's pretty much all I ever studied, I feel like. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Like, I don't know. It starts with a vampire. It ends with zombies.
This tracks.
That's what I got out of this.
Tracks.
All right.
This episode went so off the rails.
Did it?
I don't know.
I think this is about
normal.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, I think for a topic like this, we didn't. It's kind of just a little random. Stream of consciousness, basically. Yeah. So thanks for joining us for our stream of consciousness.
Yeah. Are there any superstitions? Kayla already asked it, but if you have any superstitions that you know about, or any things to do to ward off the bad luck, if you happen to run into one of these things, let us know in comments where we post about this episode, or send us a DM on Instagram,
and just give us a shout out. When we'll see ya in 2 weeks.
Ooh. Good luck.
Yeah. It's not ominous.
I'm just picturing Dumbledore closing. Good luck. I'm Harry Styles.
I used to bathe.
I need to not bump this and then this.
Oh yeah, we can't put our arms on the table.
Right. Used to work at a bakery. The ladies touched my bum.
You do a very good Harry Styles impression.
Hey, I'm sure. I'm sure it is.